What's up guys, it's Ryan and you're watching Ryan Vision. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more. Tons of videos of this Jeep, everything that's been done to it and everything that's going to be done to it will be covered, so make sure you subscribe. For those of you that have been keeping up, I got a lot of updates for you, so I'm just going to go through everything real quick for those that are new to the videos. Basically, you're looking at a 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. It's known as a ZJ. It's lifted right around 7 or 8 inches on 35 by 1250s. I'm running the stock 15 by 7 wheels with 2-inch spacers. It's on Doetsch Tech Prerunner 8000 shocks with integrated bump stops. It's got JKS adjustable coil spacers in the front, JKS Quick Disconnects on the sway bar, but right now the sway bar in the front has been removed. I'm running no sway bar in the rear. It's got the TJ fuel bezel mod on the back there. It's got Rock Offroad long arms front and rear. Both of those kits came with subframes. The rear is a 1-piece subframe and the front is a 3-piece subframe, so you can drop the control arms without dropping the you can drop the transfer case without dropping the control arms. And right now it's running stock 373 gears, limited slip differential in the rear. It's a Dana 44A, and stock drive shaft in the rear, still using a slip yoke. 249 transfer case, freshly rebuilt. That's going to be swapped out for a 231. I'll be going to 488 gears with lockers front and rear once I do the 231 swap. The engine's a 5.2 V8. It's been pretty much rebuilt by Joel Gonzalez Automotive. The bottom end has not been rebuilt. The pistons and rings and everything looked really good and healthy and everything like that. The bearings and everything on the bottom of the crankshaft looked good when he did the rear main seal. So basically everything else has been redone. Watch the other videos for details on that. It runs great. I'm running the stock exhaust pipes and exhaust manifolds to a California legal catalytic converter. Not running a muffler. I've removed that. And the front axle is a Dana 30. I'll start moving around now so you guys don't get bored. Front axle's the stock Dana 30. It's got the 373 gears in it, but I went with the Rock Offroad U-joint axle shafts with Spicer 760X U-joints and what they call their almost alloy kit, which is basically all the ears on the shafts have been welded. So the U-joints are in there, and the ears aren't supposed to bend or flex, which should prevent U-joint failure. Also on the axle, I've got the Solid Axle Industries front differential cover. This thing's awesome. It's really beefy. It comes with the Allen bolts. It even comes with the silicone to install it. And you can see the drain plug is really high there, so you can get some extra fluid in there. I think I ended up doing somewhere over, just over 1.5 quarts, and I used full synthetic 75 140 front and rear. I'm not really worried about things like fuel mileage in this rig. I've got the Rock Offroad over the knuckle steering kit. It's 1.25 inch solid steel on the tie rod and on the drag link, and it's really beefy and everything works real good with the angles. I didn't even have to run a steering stabilizer. I've got Rusty's adjustable track bars front and rear with the HD frame out there, and finally got this adjusted so the front axle is centered. And this right here is part of the Rock Offroad kit. That's the caster adjuster plate for the long arms. It only runs an upper and lower on the driver's side. The passenger side only runs a lower control arm. New ball joints, upper and lower in the front, they're Moog, and that helped a lot with alignment issues and knocking noises and just all kinds of issues. And there you can see the Rubicon Express coil springs in the front. Those are 3.5 inch for a ZJ. And there you can see the JKS adjustable coil spacers, which right now are set a little lower than I'd want them, right around 4 inches. Maybe just a little lower than that, closer to 4.5 inches. So I'm going to get 4.5 inch coils and back those spacers up just a little bit. So let's see. Also, I have a steering box brace, and this comes in very handy for these, or you will rip a steering box off the frame. So this at the time I think was like 68 bucks. Fort Collins ZJ on eBay, I think he's raised the price a little bit, but in my opinion it's worth it. You can see it clamps around the steering box neck right there, and then bolts to where the sway bar bolts on both sides, so it works as a little cross member, keeps everything rigid. It's really nice. I think that about does it for the front. I know I mentioned the shocks, so let me back up and show you the newest goodie that I have. I just finished this up today. So this is Rough Country's 9,500 pound winch, and also Rough Country's winch plate mount and their D-ring kit for that mount. And you can see I'm still running the original bumper. So I looked around, and this was the only kit that I found that let you retain the stock bumper, which is kind of the look I'm going for. But I really wanted to have toe points in the front, so you can see I got the big beefy 3/4 D-rings on here, and that gave me toe points so other people can tow on me without pulling on my front axle, which is what I had to do in some sticky situations. And then of course now I've got this 9,500 pound winch, so if I'm by myself and I need to get out of a sticky situation, I can. The Rough Country kit is awesome. It fits perfectly. The difficult part is you have to just take the front bumper off and the grill off, and you have to open up the frame rail access points. There's like holes in the ends of the frame rails. You got to open those up with a Sawzall is what I used. You could also use a Dremel tool. It'd take you a little longer. Make sure you wear eye protection. I had a close call. I didn't realize I wasn't wearing my safety glasses, and a piece of metal flew and hit me right by my eye. So obviously I grabbed the glasses right away. But you know, I'm not used to using clear safety glasses. I'm usually wearing sunglasses. And so, you know, I just figured I had them on because everything was clear. I'm used to them being tinted out, and man, it was a wake-up call. So make sure you wear your safety glasses, and cut those babies open, and the mounts slide right in to the frame rail. And then you've got these side plates right here that bolt on right there. So you got 4 beefy bolts that go into, so you have another plate like this inside the frame rail with nuts welded to it. And so you got 4 beefy bolts right there. And then also you got 2 bolts on the radiator support that go through the bottom of it, and you can run 3, but I couldn't quite get that 3rd bolt in because my steering box braced. But I figure 6 bolts on each side, that's plenty beefy. So the other one's the same setup. Swing over to that side. This side's actually probably a little harder to see because you got the horn in the way, but you can see up in there the 4 bolts and then the 2 on the bottom right there. And then those are my winch cables. See my thick gauge positive and my ground there. And make sure you run that ground, because I was really surprised. The winch worked without running the ground cable. I think it was basically grounded through the plate. But you can cause a lot of damage to your electronics, your ECU and everything like that, if you don't have a real thick, beefy ground. So you can see that the ground cable is tucked under here. You got one small ground that runs to the control box here, and then the beefy ground I tried to hide, you know, as best I could, send it down here and then over to the battery. I mounted them both to the battery, not to the frame. And then the positive cable, I'm pretty impressed with myself on that. I did a real good job hiding it. I mean, if I come back here and you're looking at the Jeep from the front, you tell me where the cables are, you know what I mean? I've seen people run them through the grill kind of nasty. That's not my style. I want to keep it nice and clean. So I'm loving how this looks with the original bumper. Couldn't be happier. You know, it's got the nice OEM look, but you can tell it's lifted. You can tell this thing flexes like crazy, and now it's got the toe points and the winch to get the job done in the sticky situation. So I'm loving it right now. I'm completely stoked. You can probably tell. So the front's looking really good. Other than that, as far as modifications, the motor's pretty much stock. It's got an MSD external coil. It's got an electric fan. It has a new radiator. Just stuff like that. Cold air intake. Nothing major's been done to the motor. It was just rebuilt because it had a little bit of a coolant leak and a little bit of an oil leak, so now it's leak free. So thanks again to Joel Gonzalez Automotive. Also thanks to Joel Gonzalez Automotive for the winch setup. He stepped up to the plate on that, so that's awesome. That's our insurance policy for the upcoming Rubicon trip. So on the tires, they're 35 by 1250 by 15 Goodyear MTR Kevlars. They're awesome. I run them at about 18 psi on and off road, but when I go to things like the Rubicon, those will definitely get aired down, probably closer to like 10, maybe 12 pounds. And the reason I'll do that without hesitation is because now I have onboard air. I haven't wired it yet, but I got to give a big shout out to Nathan and Mitchell, and I'll put their Instagram names on here because these guys last night, I met them over at Pick 'em Pull, and we got this bad boy right here, which is a ZJ fuel tank skid plate. Got this for 18 bucks. Girl was running the counter, and I don't know if she just didn't know what this thing was or what, but she hooked it up. 18 bucks for this bad boy. So I'm gonna mount that to cover up my plastic tank in case I hit any big rocks on the backside. But Nathan and Mitchell, you guys really outdid yourself on this. I still have to paint it, so don't pay too much attention to the finish work. But look at that, they used rounded plate steel, so I've got like this half circle thing, and then this mount right here is super beefy. They've got it tied into the spare tire mount, and on the back side too there's a plate going through the plastic actually to the body to completely stiffen it up. And then this was a little rubber deal also for the spare tire. They made a custom bracket that goes under the plate there, and I mean, look how stable this thing is. It doesn't move at all when I put pressure on it. So when I'm on rocks and stuff, I'm not going to have this compressor swinging around, and it's, you know, like perfectly level. You can see we've got the mounts a little unlevel on purpose because we wanted to lean the compressor away from the window. You can see I've just got barely any clearance there, but it should be fine. So I'm gonna get this hooked up, test it all out, make sure it's good, make sure heat's not an issue, anything like that, but it looks good. So like I said, I'll be able to air down my tires and air them back up by myself, and also be able to run air tools on the trip. So Joel's actually gonna mail his air tools over from Texas ahead of time, and then when we go on the Rubicon, we'll have air tools if anything happens. I think that about wraps it up for the back. I haven't really done anything new in the back. I'm getting ready to do a new differential cover. There you can see the Doetsch Tech shocks, but nothing really new in the back. Track bar's adjustable, Rusty's like the front, and it's adjusted. Everything's nice and centered. Got my Iron Rock Offroad decal there because they also stepped up to the plate as a sponsor of Project ZJ, and hooked me up with some good deals on some really awesome parts. Everything's really heavy duty and has been awesome. Really good installation instructions, really beefy, flexes like crazy. Check the other videos to see it. And I'll have another video soon showing the rear max flex, because I have one showing the full front flex but not the rear yet, so I'll get that going. Yeah, I figured I'd just go ahead and show you guys what flex looks like right now. So this is the Iron Rock Offroad long arm kit, front and rear. You can see the front isn't even stuffed in all the way, so it's got more than this for sure. I just can't go any higher on this loading dock, but the back's hanging nice. You can see that I definitely needed the extended perch right here, or this spring would just free fall out right now. I'm not running limiting straps anymore, so you know, that's hanging down quite a bit. The shock nicely extended out, looking really good in the back. Tucked nice on the other side. Tires aren't rubbing at all, thanks to the track bar being dialed in, the Doetsch Tech shocks with the integrated bump stops, and the wheel spacing being dialed in. It just tucks up nice and clean, nothing rubbing, nothing rubbing, nice and clear. And then you can see the bump stop there, just barely compressed. So this isn't 100% full flex, but I'd say it's like 95%. And then the front, it's nice not running a front sway bar because you don't have to stop and disconnect it, and that's not full flex either. I can get closer to dropping that front coil out, but that's pretty good. I mean, you can see that the tires dropped below the bottom of the body, so that's pretty good extension, pretty good droop. So you can see the spring is hanging down, but nowhere near coming unseated. It probably goes down to about here. I can see the marks, so it gets down there, but still won't fall out at full flex. Shock nicely extended on this side. Also, you can see the Iron Rock Offroad bar pin eliminators, and these are the Rusty's Offroad extended stainless steel brake lines in the front. They're really long, and at full flex these things get stretched out pretty good. You can see the steering kit, no binding. Everything's just sweet, dialed in right where it needs to be. And then on this side, you can see that spring's nice and compressed. And I don't think I'm going to be able to show you the shock. Maybe. Might have to go to the other side, but you can see up there it's on the bump stop, just barely compressing it. And nowhere near rubbing thanks to the trim fenders. And again, the adjusted track bar and the wheel spacing all being dialed in. So that's just about, like I said, about 95% full flex on a ZJ with Iron Rock Offroad long arms front and rear. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out projectzj.com. Basically, it groups together all the YouTube videos just about the Jeep, so you don't have to worry about the 350Z, the guns, or anything like that. It's just all the videos related to the Jeep. You can check that anytime and you'll see the latest videos. So couldn't be happier right now. Really excited about the Rubicon trip. Just got to get that compressor wired up in the back, get that all working and tested and everything like that. Probably take one more run out to Prairie City, the local off-road park, make sure everything's in order, and then we'll be good to go. We're gonna spend 2 or 3 nights there probably and camp and just take our time, and it's gonna be awesome. And one last thing I don't think I mentioned on the winch, it's wireless. It has a wireless remote, and it also has the ability to plug in a hardwire remote in case like the battery or something dies on the wireless. So that's really awesome. Check out roughcountry.com for a winch like this for your ZJ, and they've got them for other Jeeps as well. So that's it, guys. Just want to give you a quick update on everything. Sorry for the lag since the last video, but I've been busy working on this, so thanks to everyone who's helped out with the project. I really appreciate it. And again, check out projectzj.com. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for more. Alright guys, see ya.